We are back and about ready to hop into our fourth game. Sean, so far, KeeN has said, hey, you know what? That qualification process is rough, man. I'm going to walk away with the extra $1,500 and be sitting pretty going into the next TSL. As we head into our fourth game, KeeN has an amazing, amazing advantage.
It's funny. Losing the first game in a best of 3 and winning the next 2 is quite common. In a best of 5, you're like, oh, hey, that's an impressive result there. That just makes for a good story. Coming back from down 0-3 in a best of 7 feels absolutely impossible. It's one of the worst feelings that can be described. I strongly recommend that you just try to win 4 games in a row against any of your friends in StarCraft to figure out what that feeling is like. Right now, Sting must make a win happen, and everything he's thrown at KeeN has just been like totally swatted down.
Swatted. Big time.
It's like having a nagging cat that like wants to be pet, but it's a cat. You can put it outside. There's nothing the cat can do about it. You're a human being, and that's what it feels like to be Sting right now.
Exactly. I think I kind of know that feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, the next map is going to be on Cloud Kingdom, and I mean, in terms of all the way that all the other maps have played out, I haven't seen one area where KeeN falls short in as far as TVT is concerned. So again, when you put that 4-game win in front of you, and you talk about how impossible it is, you also think about the way KeeN's been playing this map. It should probably go his way.
What's interesting about Cloud Kingdom is a lot of people consider it to be the Terran vs. Terran map that truly tests your fundamentals. There's not really some cute regions to exploit like on Antigua Shipyard or Entombed Valley. It's all just about taking expansions, but most importantly of all, keeping track of positioning. In my eyes, I feel like it's the map that tests your positional awareness, because no matter where your tanks are sieged up, there's always a path that you can't cover. So you have to have the mobile army, but you also have to have tanks. So you have to preemptively get your tanks in position all the time. So we're going to be talking about positioning a lot, assuming the game actually goes on for a while. Because right now, the games have been pretty short, about 15 to 20 minutes all in all.
We're not going to make you wait any longer. Game 4 about to begin here for the third, fourth place matchup. $3,000 and a seed into the next TSL is on the line. KeeN's ahead 3-0. Who wins this next one? Let's start map 4. And we are live with map number 4. Sean, like we mentioned it once, we mentioned it twice, it's time for a third time. KeeN is sitting so pretty in this best of 7. 1 game, and he is crowned 3rd place. That seed is so important. So if there's a game to fight for one's life, this is it. Let's introduce our players in the southwest position. As the player up 3-0 from MVP, it is KeeN.
And up in the top right garnered so many fans at this event just due to the fact that he seemed to come from nowhere and kill everything on the ropes. If you want him to win, type in that chat, go Sting! Right now is, go Sting. Hoping to at least push us to an extra game. But I mean, you know, it's kind of like Husky StarCraft always says, his goal is to root for more games. He just wants to see more matches, and I would really be heartbroken to see Sting go out as an 0-4. As a player who's known for doing these early aggression cheesiness tactics, it's kind of annoying to be down 0-4, excuse me, 0-3, and think, maybe I need to pull the cheesiest cheese of all. Maybe I need to take the biggest risk of all. Rarely does it come up, well, time to play standard against a player who's a better standard player than I am. Yeah,
that's, I mean, how are you going to make that decision? There we have the refinery going down for Sting a little bit earlier there than KeeN, as KeeN could just be going for some expansion play. I don't think we've seen him yet in this series, have we?
From who?
From KeeN?
You know, I said from who because thinking about it, I think that in only one circumstance did either of the players not go for fast gas. I mean, it's pretty much been a fast gassing sort of tournament round. So, I mean, Sting the only time we saw an early expand is when Sting went for the command center first, and going for the tech lab. It looks like we will be seeing a Reaper expand from Sting and a straight expand from KeeN.
So Tech Lab going on. Yep, the SCV on the low ground, waiting for that. No gas over here for KeeN as he gets his orbital up, and SCV for Sting make its way across to the middle of the map. Of course, one of the areas that you were mentioning earlier where positioning is going to be huge, especially as the game does go on. More and more bases are added to not only defend your bases, but also to be able to attack those. And SCV is going to slip right through here. No supply depot up yet. And well. Hey, I block you here, but I leave the door open. So Sting goes in, sees the double refinery. And is going to be familiar with this follow-up as the first Reaper is out on the field.
Fairly common follow-up from KeeN that's basically saying, again, my core composition is going to be tank-focused. I'm going to be going straight for factory, straight for starport as a follow-up. We see one Reaper out for Sting, and ooh, Reaper number 2 coming up. Looks like Sting has some aggression intended to show us, Marcus.
They don't regen yet, but Reapers are still good for many purposes. Of course, getting some scouting information, denying some possible buildings, or maybe even getting a couple kills here. And this Reaper's going to come in relatively, find this base relatively defenseless. There's a couple Marines. He is going to get one SCV so far. There's number 2. He only takes a couple of hits of damage there, down to 40 hit points before he backs away. And Reaper number 2 on its way.
Reaper number 3 in production. Ooh,
oh, I like that.
Sting continuing to deal a little bit of damage at the front. These 3 Marines trying to charge up. Reactor down for KeeN. KeeN is going to be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't know that there's actually going to be 2 Reapers out. Sting, I think, is trying to hide it, but he's revealed that extra Reaper, and KeeN, I think, knows he's going to stay on the hyper defense. But once that 3rd Reaper comes out, that's going to be a tough spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really rough for KeeN not having that production right now. I mean, you see these Reapers doing a ton of damage to this orbital. He brings out one SCV. He's going to bring the Marines down. Keep in mind that 3rd Reaper's coming, so he could send him into the main, but he decides to engage. Not good. The Hellion plays a huge role there, and there Reaper 2 comes, but down a man. I think any plans to get ultra aggressive are now going to be thwarted and put on hold.
What a great play from KeeN to just build a single Hellion. So often players will be going straight for the tank, straight for the Banshee. Literally just a stop-and-go play. Let me briefly get a Hellion and then resume right back on with getting that very fast Tech Lab. One edge Sting still has a huge lead in is the upgrade for Marine lead. Holy crap, his combat shield is almost done. He's going to be starting stim and have that all done before 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really good as far as that was concerned. You're not really losing that much at the front anyway, but with the double barracks going down, now the reactors are finished up. He's going to have a nice little bioforce here early on, and he immediately starts stim once combat shield ends up. Hellion on the map for KeeN now, trying to get some map control back. Just a single Marine at the Zelnaga Tower for stim. So he's only got vision on his side of the map, which, as we mentioned earlier on, will become even more and more important. We're going to have the Hellion sneak up there, does see the bunker, immediately moves back. But now the factory going down for Sting much later, but his +1 is going to be done. He's going to be sitting great in terms of those upgrades, and we see nothing. Just the 2nd rack's going down just now for KeeN.
You know, I think KeeN is finally going to be having to play a long game. He's not going to be able to get 2 tanks out and just go. Sting has bought himself enough time to get his huge Marine count up. He's having the lead in the +1 upgrade. He's having the lead in all his basic upgrades. This is exactly how you want your play to look if you are going for that Marine-style play. And, you know, this is also kind of what reminds us back to Game 1. He tried to go for that fast Banshee and then into that Marine tech, but didn't have enough time to get up that stable structure. Now he has all the time in the world, and KeeN, I think, knows it, so he's going for that early 3rd command center.
And it's unfortunate. Sting hits a pretty hefty supply block there. He has to throw down 2 depots, and he's going to go for quite a while, sitting with a bunch of units in his queue, as he's also getting that starport up as well. But, you know, with that 3rd command center down right now, Sean, and KeeN sitting in a good position to just ramp up his production here. He's looked like whatever little attack the Reapers brought at the beginning just kind of has been completely erased from this matchup. He just seems to be really, really sitting pretty right now. I mean, the Marines over on Sting's side with an obvious upgrade advantage, but as this game continues on, I just feel like KeeN will slowly catch up and sort of take a lead.
Yeah, you know, I really do like the position that KeeN's put himself in. I also like Sting's position, to be honest, Marcus. I freaking love this aggressive Marine base play. And look, Sting got his upgrade so fast, he actually is able to abandon the barracks from the tech lab and give it to the factory right when the factory would have been able to want it. I mean, that's impeccable timing. But Sting is still not moving out. Now he's finally moving out now that he has the medevacs. This is going to be looking very nice for Sting. He's going to gobble up map control. He's going to be behind on his third command center, but he's also going to be able to deny KeeN that third command center for quite a while.
And it looks like a reverse supply block here for KeeN as he's stuck at 89. His opponent was stuck at 85. And that is going to stop him just as those reactors finish up on the barracks. So while I would have said I feel like he'll still be fine with the Marine count as those barracks get done, now he's suddenly in a bad shape as there's going to be a good force not only going into the main but also attacking him at the third. And he stims up. The Marines outside are going to try to bait him out. There's that one siege tank inside the main, but he does drop down right on time. There is Marines inside, and he is going to be able to stop that with very little damage done. Meanwhile, he goes into the main, and did Sting just throw this away?
Dang, what is going on? Not only did he just do just about the riskiest play ever, he didn't need to do it, he was about to deny the third, he was about to force an engagement, and all this happened seconds before +1 armor finishes, so Sting, Sting is not far behind, just looking at the supply counts and the food counts. He's ahead on SCVs. He's going to be ahead on Marines, given his production. Or actually, wait, no, another barracks from KeeN snuck up out of nowhere. So yeah, now Sting is going to fall behind in the Marine count. So that's actually terrible for Sting.
That was just a horrible engagement. Could have worked out much better. And that third getting established, that's rough. Just now the orbital's morphing for Sting, so he still has a ways to go. Double Engi Bay down now for KeeN, so he is starting to catch up there. The armory already down, and once combat shield's done, he'll be sitting pretty good on his bio upgrades. So, I mean, you were right, Sting was sitting in that great position, could have denied that 30, he could have kept the upgrade lead, etc. But he just threw away so much, and now a little scouting squad from KeeN going out, check on that third, maybe able to pull this army out of position as well.
I mean, this really, the key phrase you use there is just catch the opponent out of position. That's where both these players are heading. There's kind of this funky situation that happens in TVT where early stuff happens, but then it's sort of slowly forgotten over time. What was once a 10 food supply lead from 50 to 60 food is now a 10 supply lead with 137 to 144. It's just not as significant. It's all going to come down to this positioning type thing. The big thing that ends up happening if you do get into a good spot is you can sneak out an extra building, sneak out an extra upgrade. We do see Sting is ahead in terms of his armor upgrade, but way behind on his attack, and KeeN's going to be the one to make the first play, moving out to mid.
And here's where the positioning is going to come into play first. Sting has to position himself here at the natural. It's really the only thing he can do, but KeeN, of course, is going to want to push him and pull him back and forth like a piece of taffy and find an opportunity to move on in there. Now, he just sends those 3 Marines in to interrupt some mining, and will he decide to swing around? He's really playing some cat and mouse there. There's the siege by Sting in the middle. Smart to do. Sends just a few Marines forward to get rid of that threat. And so far, I just like this. It's smart play, but I mean, Sting is his back up against the wall, and KeeN has all the control in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, the big benefit that you can gain in the position that KeeN is in, is this fire truck blares outside of my window, Marcus, is that KeeN is... KeeN suddenly has lost his control point. This is the problem with this positional awareness that we talked about. KeeN is moving over to this left side, but in the meantime, Sting can easily always have another exit out. The big thing that KeeN's trying to do is have an army that's so big and so scary that it forces Sting to not want to risk it with a counterattack.
And he's way out of position. Sting getting a little bit further away from his third. There's the siege, and KeeN's not in a good position. His tanks are going to get hit from the side, but KeeN's Marines are in a great spot as they can slip behind that mineral line, and tanks are not there to hit. And I don't know how much damage he can do, but he has Sting in this awkward position right now. There he lifts up all his Marines, and he's going to doom drop into the main. That's absolutely insane. Sting moves a medevac forward, goes, wait a second, where did all those Marines go? And there into the main, there's one missile turret, and he's going to start doing some damage.
This is a brilliant play from KeeN because he knew every single one of Sting's units were at that third expansion. Oh no! Oh, will he get it? And the armory will finish the +2 attack. All those other Marines coming up for Sting. KeeN trapped in the backside there, now running up to the main natural expansion, running away with those Marines. Look at this nice little play. DJ Lee getting his tanks in position.
If KeeN sieges up here, and he has, that's going to be really nasty. One medevac makes its way out, still doing damage inside the main. Everything coming down to try to eliminate these tanks at the front. There's no ground support, and also they do go down. But now another group of Marines going to that third. He's off of a gas now. He's killing more SCVs inside the main, and KeeN is just tearing Sting limb from limb.
My God, this is such aggressive play. I mean, I can't believe how many places at once KeeN is placing himself. Food count is quite even, but I don't think that's really very telling, Marcus. And in fact, for all the fanciness that just went down, the one thing that impresses me most, KeeN taking a 4th.
KeeN taking a 4th and starting his 3-3. Remember, the armory went down for Sting, and so he is just now putting it up. It's still got a ways to go. That means there's going to be a huge amount of time for KeeN where he's going to have that 3-3 advantage. With that 4th base up, then, I mean, at that point, the path is just where does he go from there? He's going to have the production to just almost duplicate an army, and now as Sting moves out, KeeN has a great position, or a great opportunity to just take this middle and prevent Sting from moving out from his 3rd.
KeeN's got to be really careful sieging those tanks up. He's creating kind of a line formation in mid, which is working thus far, but look at that, having to unsiege, rearrange, pulling tanks from the south and slowly leapfrogging them left. And there's the big stim, and it looks like Sting manages to get the successful first big volley. And now with this huge engagement, Sting starting to come out to a nice spot. He's starting to even things out. 11 tanks for Sting, 4 for KeeN. Things have just turned around, Marcus.
Now here's a big decision point for Sting. Does he try to use this opportunity to just take a 4th? Does he push down to check to maybe try to assault that 3rd? He definitely has a unit advantage right now. The food count is about the same, but his tank count is unbelievable, 12 to the 4. And if he gets in siege position, possibly even behind that 4th, he will be in a phenomenal spot. But here comes more Marines. He's going to siege up on the low ground, and Sting still has the opportunity. He can spread his tank line out quite a bit and really put some pressure here on KeeN.
I love the position that Sting has managed to place himself. KeeN tried to force an engagement there, but it looked like Sting had too many tanks sieged up in too good of a position, and now Sting, what a relief for him. And look at this. Expansion command center is actually at his natural. He might be floating southward, which would totally be the perfect position to be in. He would have that regrowth path locked down, and it looks like Sting's continuing to work his way around. He might have just sealed the fate with this push.
Yeah, and he's going to come in from the backside. He can't spread himself out too thin. The Marines are almost gone here for Sting. And look at this, pushing forward. A lot of hits there on the Marines, and the siege line does deplete, but not by much. And then from the back, a great flank from KeeN. There's just these 3 tanks up on the top, and he somehow saved this planetary, but I think it's finally going to fall. And there it is, a drop at the 3rd as well. KeeN still manages to get rid of all this down at his 4th and continue to harass. He's now picking up to go back into the main.
Oh gosh, KeeN is just so on point no matter what. He's doing a nice aggressive play. There, an attack down at the south. He knows the top is left open and he's going to abuse it. And now all of a sudden SCV's falling in the main, down to 48 workers for Sting. Oh, KeeN just being incredible with his attacks. Even after losing his 4th Sting, and KeeN is still looking in an excellent spot.
Yeah, KeeN pushing 4th now. He is getting his 4th back up. He took out all the gas inside the main as well. Keep in mind that 2nd refinery at the 3rd is gone. So if you look at the gas mining right now, there's 1 SCV on gas in the main, and then of course he's populated. He's not 3-1. So
he has 6 SCVs total in his entire collection of bases that are mining. That is terrible.
Wow. That is really bad. Here's a push forward. The tanks get some nice shots on the Marines, but look at this. It's KeeN who's got other plans. If he gets rid of this third, it will put him in a very decisive position. A small group of Marines pushes forward. SCV is going to join in on the fight, and really there's nothing that Sting can do in the position he's in. He's trying to bring everything back, but it's just too late. The damage has been done at the third.
I mean, KeeN is doing a really brilliant play. He's saying, I have a slightly bigger army, so what I'll do is I'll tease an engagement and force you to siege up, and then when you're sieged, I swing to where I really want to go. The only time you can do that is when you think you have a superior army, and that is how KeeN was able to break into that position. And look at this. We see KeeN pulling back. He's going to be able to defend his 4th base by moving to that right side. And in this position, another drop happening at the top. All KeeN really needs to do is just continue to catch his opponent out of position, and whenever that third's available, he can swing in for a kill. What Sting needs to do is finally clean up these drops and get potentially another good engagement right here. It looks like he's catching his opponent on siege.
Nice. He does manage to pick off a tank, and if he can keep that up, that's certainly going to help. But is the armory going to? I guess it doesn't matter because most of the upgrades are done at this point. The armory is burning right now. Another tank does fall. And the harassment's just been too much for Sting. Actually, that tank stays alive with that. But now the tank's unsieged. He's just going to go around the siege line. He cannot attack into that. He does spread out quite a bit, but some gets up onto the third. There's still some great tank coverage. And KeeN, that was way too aggressive of a position to get into.
KeeN, though, might be able to afford it because right now Sting has 2 big goals. He needs to defend his 3rd and kill the 4th, and it looks like he's now deciding that it's time to go southward, and KeeN is going to do a big engagement. He's going to lose all those tanks. There they go down. Oh, KeeN again exploiting any vulnerability he can. Now Sting trying to break this down, get a good defense for his 3rd up. Oh, yeah. Sting fails to do both.
I mean, there's still tanks inside this 3rd for Sting, but the positioning for KeeN turned out well because he trapped the Marines at the 3rd, which meant those tanks were exposed. Here, a single Marine still doing damage on a drop, but again, buying time. That 4th is up, but it's in shambles. Only 5 mules are currently there. More units continuing to come out with KeeN. He's at +2 on his tanks. Over on Sting's side, lost his armor. He's got no upgrades on his tanks at all.
You know, Marcus, if you hit that Control R button and take a look at the workers killed, 67
Yikes.
have been killed off by KeeN. That's where all that money was going, and now that the hit 4th base is spotted, Sting is slowly losing any edge he could possibly have ever had. KeeN just dominating. Here comes Sting for a final big swing. He's going to have to do every possible bit of damage with this big push. And again, KeeN sees the push to the left, puts a drop at the right.
Yeah, he's going to grab a tank here as well, and he does get it. SCB is going to fight this out, and he's going to come to meet all this back in the middle. Sting is in a terrible position. Marines stimming forward. They're going to get 1, 2 tanks almost immediately. Tanks don't even bother to siege up. That's it. I got this. No problem. 3rd place is in my hands. $3,000. A seed to the TSL4 next season, and there it is. GG! And MVP KeeN will take 3rd place in the TSL4 final day.
I have my button too, Marcus.
Congratulations. Yes, that was nicely done. KeeN did what I think a lot of people expected him to do, really dominating his opponent here. Just simply outplayed him, and although Sting showed those moments of, of almost like this attack could work, he just couldn't quite make it work for himself today. And KeeN takes it 4-0.
You know, it's always an incredible thing when you get this deep in a tournament. There is no luck behind this. Both of these players had to battle through qualifiers in Korea, battle through tons of players to get there, fell in the semifinals, and again playing in the 3rd, 4th place match, and you still see how big a skill gap there was between those 2 players. I mean, it's impressive to see that given how long StarCraft 2's out, we're starting to see real leaders step ahead, and I think KeeN has sealed himself in a lot of people's minds at finally breaking that image of the cheesy player who goes for the 1-1-1 all-ins and established himself as a solid player doing really cool and unusual fast tank pushes.
And KeeN awards himself $3,000. Sting's not going to walk away empty-handed. He gets himself $1,500, and you know what? He made one pretty incredible mark here on TSL4. When people go back and they talk about the history, Sting will definitely be one of those players that is talked about, along with all the players in our top 4. With that being said, we are going to take a break because when we return, get ready. It's time for the grand finals of the TSL4. Crater Prime versus Startail Life, a PvZ, which plays pretty heavily into the way that many of the tournaments have been playing out. Who will be the winner? Who will walk away with $16,000 for first place? We're going to find out after our commercial break, and we're going to announce the winner of the trip, of the raffle, when we return with more TSL4. Stay with us.